Good morning. Good to be here again. My name is Peacemaker Dada, and like you know, I'm your regular host on Property Gang every Saturday morning. Like you know, we are here to iron out issues concerning real estate, home, housing, shelter, land issues. Today we'll be discussing on how to own a house within your income. A lot of people think that it is not possible for you to own a house. Gang members, and we are going to be discussing that today. Like you know, we are here every Saturday morning by 10 a.m. on R2 TV. You can view us and follow us on GoTV channel 112. So, I'm not in the studio alone today. I'm always in the studio with the gang members. How are you guys?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
It's good to be here again.
This is steady cash. Like that day we usually say, once you don't have cash, shut up. So, I have other...
Who says that?
And I quote.
I can't say that. I quote himself. All right, nice one.
Oh, I have James in the house. James, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fine, and you?
James is a creative designer. He's an architect by profession. James is going to be taking us step by step on how you can actually build your own house within your income. So don't think that income is too small. Chudi, good morning.
Good morning.
Always smiling.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a great day. It's a great day.
It's obvious.
It's a great
From
day.
the smile on your face. It's obvious it's a great day.
It has to be.
Okay, so guys, we are going to be discussing this today. So one of the major issues that I know people usually have is that they don't have enough money to build a house. Yeah. So we are going to be discussing on how whatever you make can actually help you to build a house. That's what we are going to be discussing today. But before we take on that discussion, we go, and when we come back, we dive into this discussion proper. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So I said earlier that today we are going to be discussing on how you can build a house within your income. So I'm going to be throwing it to the gang members to ask them, how possible is this? Is it possible for you to own a house within your income?
I know to a very typical Nigerian, the answer would be a capital no. But as regards to me, I'll just say with a very strong commitment to saving culture and all that, it's actually achievable. I don't know how much you earn. Even if you earn 80,000, at least
really
you can own a house within your income, as in within a record time. It's not like it's...
The saving culture can actually aid the process of you owning a home.
Very well, definitely.
Tade?
Yes, home is relative, and home is very, it depends on the home that you want to own. And definitely, and that is, if whatever you earn today, whatever you earn, and you say you want to own a home, therefore you must first have a plan. That, okay, I want to own a home, it's XYZ. And therefore, based on the XYZ, I believe that limitation should spur your creativity. Do you understand? So no matter how limited your income is today, if it is a must, you will find a way around it. And that is why it is possible. It is probable, okay? It's something that can be done by everyday man if you really want to do. And I think that's why we're on this show today, so that people can just pick up 1 or 2 points and go. I've seen it happen again and again, and it's something that can happen again. Yeah.
Chudi, what do you think?
I think it's very possible to own a house within your income. Majorly, it boils down to discipline. Because owning a house is a project, and if I see it like a project, I think it's achievable. Because every project is achievable when you are disciplined towards achieving that project, and also when you have the strategy to make that project work. And I think that's also, like what Tade said, that's what we are going to be discussing here, how we can engineer the process so that everybody can have access to their own.
Okay, so it is fair for us to say that you need to develop a saving culture, you need to have a plan, and you need to be disciplined for you to be able to achieve this.
It's just as simple as that.
Let's talk about savings. Like we know in Nigeria, the minimum wage is 18,000. So let's say
Officially.
Officially.
Okay.
Officially. Because I know a lot of people earn more than that.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Or some people also earn lesser than that.
Minimum wage means that is the minimum you can earn. Does not mean that is what you earn.
True.
Yeah, so that's why we say officially.
So let's look at it from the saving angle, from the saving culture, for you to be able to achieve you owning a house. How can you go about this?
Because if you have to look at maybe probably what you actually spend on rent in Nigeria, at least there is a data I drew from a website, at least you spend close to 30–35% of your salary on rent.
On rent.
And if you now actually be able to put that fund into saving, it can actually also help you build your own house too. So, well, there is also a formula that I just try to draw up, and the formula is more of 30% of your salary for 2 years. When you do the calculation, whatever it is you get, all you just need to do is put up a call to maybe anybody that you know within the building industry, could be a quantity surveyor, could be an architect, and just say, okay, I have so amount of money, and what kind of foundation would that money do? So whatever answer you get from that person is definitely the kind of house that suits you, and that is where you should now be looking at what you can do as some sort of your own house project.
Saving 30% of your income on a monthly basis for the next 2 years can actually help you to own a house.
Not help you own a house, at least whatever it is you can get for those periods of time.
It can take up to a process.
At least they can finish a foundation. And you shouldn't try doing anything more than what it could do.
Part time.
It will just mean you are actually embarking on a white elephant project that you just...
Wow. I'm not even sure that's That's just on a lighter note. Tade,
okay.
What do you think about what James just said?
Yeah, a very, very good point. But my reservation at international property investor is to always look at things. There is a huge deficit in Nigeria, and there are things that people can do to say you want to build a house. First and foremost, we're talking about savings. Savings means you want to save yourself. That's what savings means. You want to save yourself from quite a number of embarrassment. So first and foremost, you have to save. And at the same time, I also want to chip in this, that besides saving, we should also develop a little bit of capacity to earn more. Yeah. Because you see, the more you can do that, you will be able to, but first and foremost, the discipline and the plan. You know, I have this friend that she and her husband, they decided 3 years ago that they want to move away from where they are and they want to move to their own house. They weren't earning much. Even in the course of making that plan, the husband lost his job. And then as a result of that, but they still make that plan. They planned for 2 years to finish the house, but within the space of 2.5 years, able to finish the house, and they have moved to their house right now. But you know, when I heard that kind of story, I'm inspired to say that there is a will in man that can do something. So the first thing is you make the plan, you have the saving culture, and like the architect said, you must know what you want, and also surround yourself with some professionals. Ask questions. I want to do this house. How much is the minimum? Like I often ask him, how much is the minimum that can do a particular house like this? Remember, what we are talking about building your own house now, what we have said in assuming or implied, it means that the person already owns the land. Yeah. That's what we mean. Yes. It means the person already owns the land. So if you don't own the land, the first step is to own the land. Because if you don't own the house, you cannot build a house. True. So because we have not figured out the technology to build it. So you can't. You're getting there. So you must have that, and then you begin to plan. So the architect have told you that, oh, we're going to do this house 5 million naira. The foundation is 800,000. That means the first point of call is your planning now is towards the 800,000. You look at what you earn. You look at how much you are making. You look at your daily expenses. Husband and wife. If it's husband and wife that is earning, you say, okay, 25% of your salary, 30% of my salary, we're going to put it together and we're going to do this for 1 year. Okay, we're going to put it in maybe in a particular fund so that it can also grow over time. The percentage may not be that much, but you know that because not everyone, I can tell you for free, that 5% of people can save money by themselves without spending it. So that is, you don't have yourself, You have to be objective about it. So making that plan is the journey already, you know. And if you also have a few friends that are also interested in owning their own house, that's making it more faster.
Yes.
It becomes like a discipline. So both of us, all of us are planning and saying that this is what we are doing. So I know that I can't spend the money because Peacemaker is going to call me and say, Tajafa, have you put your savings? I've not seen your savings. No, that is where the process began. Okay,
Chudi, what do you think?
In addition to what has been said, just going to baby, I think my job is a bit easier now when I'm from their own point. I think when we begin to think in terms of, okay, this is what I want to run as a project, maybe I have 5 years to own a house. I can set it like we mentioned earlier, Tade mentioned earlier, that we can set up a plan that I want to own a house, because it's not going to be, it's not something that you just make out of the blue. It's not by accident, it's by a deliberate approach. And so I say, okay, within the next 5 years, I want to own a house. What do I do? How much do I currently earn now? And so that I can set aside certain percentage of my fund. There's what we call that people can call, maybe you can have maybe a project analysis whereby out of maybe all your expenses and all that, you have a particular percentage every month that is withdrawn from that into a particular account for that particular purpose. So within the next period, you can own a house within your income. So it's not just about saying, I have a house, I dream of owning a house that is going to be worth 10 million naira and all that. And I just, okay, want to hit one major contract. It will come by deliberate approach, because it's a project, and it's a project that, okay, whatever I get as an income, I can take a particular percentage out of it and I use it for that particular for that project, and that's majorly how it works.
To add to what we have said, I want to quickly share a practical example of what happened to me. Several years ago, myself and my other brother wanted to build a house for my mom, and then of course we did the same thing you guys said. We started doing this saving culture. We were disciplined about it. I deprived myself of a lot of things. And then there was something which most people don't do. You can actually projectize the house.
Yeah. Okay.
You can projectize the house, and I wanted us to also discuss about that. Yeah. You can put it in phases. For example, if you want to own a 2-bedroom bungalow, you can decide to take one room out first.
Yeah.
I want you to speak more about it as the architect in the house.
Yeah, very well, like you just said, because one of the design response to also owning a house is such that when you meet an architect, for instance, all you just need to discuss with him is give me a design such that I don't have to, let's say I intentionally want to do a 3-bedroom or a 4-bedroom, but at least I can always start with 1-bedroom bungalow. Then with time, as my family grows, I can also extend and all that, such that the one I want to do, I can always finish it within a record time, and whatever is left, then I know I've moved into the house, I can always add them up to it. It's a very good one, and one of the things you can also do to own a home. And there's no need to just lie about it. We should just need to learn to cut our coats according to our sizes. I guess that is just one of the things to do.
Okay, I want to take from what Tade said earlier, co-owning. You can have a project, and it's not only you that is involved in the project. So you can, for example, let me say the 4 of us, we want to own a home or a house. We can say maybe 3-bedroom flat each. That would be 4 units of 3 bedrooms. And we can put resource together. I want us to speak more about it, because I know that a lot of people in Nigeria, they will prefer to just own the house or the land to themselves. They don't believe in this, this co-owning. Is this something that is realizable in Nigeria?
It is very, very much realizable. You can achieve your aim that way, because there's power in leverage. And then there are certain things, I think, in construction, I think maybe when James wants to talk about it, you can talk about it. There are certain things that reoccur in construction, like, let me say, okay, maybe the frame of your windows and all that. I can use certain element that has been used in my own building and use for your own house too. So what it also means is that we instead of us having to spend money individually, we are collaborating together for just one thing. We can collaborate, and there are so many like that within the construction, within And it also, like what they said, it also creates a sense of discipline, of commitment, that we are committed to this project within the next maybe period, within the next 5 years or 2 years of our lives. You understand? So there's power in leverage because it gives you greater commitment, and also gives you the ability to be able to use other people's resources to get your own tax achieved.
Okay, I would have loved to take Tade, but we went on the street during the week. We asked few questions on the street. I want us to quickly view that video, and then when we come back, I'll take Tade and then I will take James so that we can further the discussion. We'll be right back.
There was a day I sat with my friend. I was just like, Omo, why? Which day are we going to, achieve all these things we are planning to get,
Presently, with the situation of the country, I don't think it's possible. It's not realistic. Because even to feed yourself and your children, to send them to school is very difficult with the present situation. So having your own personal house is very difficult presently.
It's very unfortunate the situation that we Nigerians find ourselves today. And I think the Nigeria Labour Congress, I think they are taking the right step now by asking the government to come and fulfill the agreement reached initially, so that at least there will be upgradement of these salaries. So from there, I think they should be able to have these things they do in the offices, and they'll be able to move from there to build a house. But as it is now, even 18,000 naira is not even enough for somebody, even in secondary school, to even have a pass meal for a whole session, not to talk about building a house.
Currently now, there are a whole lot of firms doing real estate management, where you can actually own a land and you pay bit by bit. So I don't want to mention names because of TV, basically. So there are a whole lot of them that you can actually get involved with, get a land, pay by bits. Depends on how much you earn. Could be monthly, could be weekly, could be daily. It depends.
We all know nothing works well in Nigeria. Every sector in Nigeria, nothing works very well in Nigeria. But the mortgage bank should be able to encourage low-income earners to own their own buildings, so that when they retire, they have what to fall back to.
Area of issue about housing in Nigeria. As an average man, I believe that although minimum wage cannot solve the issue of that, but if there's a way that government can help out by the way they normally do before. Because in Festac, I believe that in Festac then, they usually pay instrumental. So if they can bring such method back, I think an average man can be able to get a house, even own a house. So if government can go by that means, at least the level of poverty will be reduced.
There is no how government will build a house with a kind of money, and at the end of the day come back and say they are subsidizing it to how much. The things is this: the level of inflation is also galloping that government will not be able to cope, no matter how government try to show human face in letting it out. You cannot, if you want to build a comfortable house these days, you know how much it costs. So how much do you expect government to put it down? It's not a question of having a mortgage system. It's a question that something is fundamentally wrong that we must address. And the people must always show concern in who govern them to see that we'll be able at the end of the day to make these things happen.
You could save towards that. I know of a plan that says you save, I think, 500 every day or 1,000 every day for about a year, and you can get a plot of land for yourself. So there are packages like that, there are plans like that from all these real estate people. They have flexible plans like that. I think if you save towards that plan too, you can actually get a land and build a house on it.
Welcome back. So before we went on the break, we were discussing on how to own a house within your income. We talked about the fact that you need to develop a saving culture. We talked about the fact that you need to develop a plan. We also talked about the fact that we need to be disciplined about the saving and the plan. So we are going to follow that caution. I'm going to get back to the gang members. So, I want to face you, James, because you are the architect in the house. So I'm sure once I have my savings, I have small money, the first person I want to contact is the architect who can probably advise me on what to do. So how can I go about this, even with the little money that I have?
With the little money you have, as an architect and the architect's response to your own design, since you said it's going to be a budget house, you don't want something that will be too gigantic and all that. What I would do is, like I said, or like we discussed initially, give you a design that you can face, start small, then grow it while your family grows and all that. That is one. Secondly, there are some other design options that you get to choose. For instance, your roof doesn't necessarily have to be hip roof, where you just spend so much money, the carpenter trying to buy timber, trying to buy roofing sheets and all that. All you can just do is a simple mono-pitch roof.
What does that mean, please? It's
I will some Google illustration, but you could just Google hip roof and mono-pitch roof. Okay, when you Google
hip roof and mono-pitch.
Are you maybe
But use is this hip?
All this send down the rain
Right and left.
The
Okay,
mono-pitch is just sloping to one side.
Sloping to one side.
Yeah, if you should, with the decision of such, can actually save you more than 30% of your cost of roof.
And I know that the most expensive part, after I think between foundation and the roof is, I think, is the roof.
Yeah, for a bungalow building.
For a bungalow building.
Yes.
Okay, so while we went on the streets, we listened to different. Some funny guy was the guy funny. The guy wasn't actually funny. He said he had a conversation with a friend, and he was asking his friend that, oh boy, how long it will take us to even get? How long it will take us to get this out? So one of the things we want to demystify is it shouldn't take you forever.
Yeah.
For you to be able to achieve owning a house. Tade, can you give a step-by-step?
as enough.
Step-by-step in the process of this person, for that guy, who is asking his friend, how long is it going to take him to own a house?
Yeah, you know, it can take forever, and it can take a short while. It all depends. The first thing that we have to clarify is that someone wants to build a house. You know, we live in a culture where building a house is a hope, it's not a plan. And that's why most of the time people have a lot of challenges when it comes to building a house. You know, with great job, you know, earning some level of salaries without planning to own a house. We want to live in sophisticated houses, rent an apartment, create a residual income for our landlord, which I like because I'm one. You know, and then you make those money and you keep making those money, and every year your landlord keep looking at you when you have changed your car because you need to change his rent, because you know why? That is, it will tell you cement has gone up. Why? Cement has gone up, and for him, and you are wondering, excuse me, sir,
I'm living in
this house you are talking about has been built 10 years ago. What concerns rent and this present house? The truth of the matter is the rent is synonymous to school fee to him. The rent is synonymous to him living a good life. Now, if building your own house, living in a comfortable place is your strategy, is your plan, then you begin to plan for it. Early is cheap. I remember my friends and I, many years ago, we often say that early is cheap, late is expensive. That the only thing is not good to do is to die early when you have not fulfilled your life. You know, so the most important thing is that you have to have a plan. You also have to look at your income stream. You know, there is no way we can deny the fact that you will need some level of money to do all this thing. If you are earning 40,000 naira and you want to save 30,000 naira out of the money, 30% out of the money you are earning, how much would that be? That is just 12,000 naira. How many times will you save 12,000 naira to lay a foundation of a house? You know, because you see, you have to be objective in all your deal. Now, it's not bad to earn 40,000, it's not bad to earn 80,000, but you must also realize that the moment you have a plan, you must look at the route to get you to where you are going. What other capacity do you have that you can help you to earn more money and you don't spend it? Now, there are times when some money comes into your hand, now that you now have a plan, you know that that money is not for spending, it's for building. Therefore, you open an account for that helps you to do that. Those are the early plan. Those are the early things you have to do. You must look at your earning capacity. It's very cardinal in building a house. A lot of people don't look at that. What is your earning capacity? How much are you earning? You know, a minimum wage not offer you an optimum life.
Yeah.
So if you want an optimum life, you must be able to up your game as well. You know, you must look at your habits. You must look at it. And I like what the architect said. You must look at the kind of house you want to build. For instance, you can't tell me you want to build a house on the island and then you are depending on minimum wage. It's going to be hard.
Even on the mainland?
No, I'm just talking about, because there are a couple of foundational things you need to do on the island. You need to do piling. I was talking to a group of people several days ago. I didn't forget it. If your intention is to build a house in Lekki, you have to do filling. There's no land that's sold to you in Lekki that you will not do filling. And if you want to build a house and you want to
buy land that's even filled, it's more expensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That means already filled. That means you have to look at that and you have to begin to make a plan towards it. Your money making ability is very important in building a house. And at the same time, the moment you are up your game, you have to be disciplined and begin to plan towards it.
Okay, I'm going to come to you, Chudi, but I quickly want to announce that you can be part of the show. All you need to do is to call the number scrolling on your screen. You can call in and then you can ask questions. We'll be willing. The gang members are here, even if I can't answer. They are here. Chudi.
Yeah.
I earn so amount of money. I want to own a house.
What's the amount?
You don't go to a financial planner and say, I earn XYZ. You say, what is XYZ?
I earn between 50,000 and 100,000. Okay. I want to own a house. But
where?
No, it could be mainland, it could be island, but I don't.
Which mainland?
No, but I'm even going somewhere.
I'm helping you to get there faster.
It's looking like that money cannot help me to achieve what I want to achieve. Yeah. I have spoken to the architect in the house. He's saying, this will take you a longer time, but I want it to be in a shorter time. So somebody is suggesting to me that you can come together with some other guys to achieve this. I want you to expatiate on this.
Quickly. Somebody has said, and it is a common phrase now, that what you have is enough to get you started. And I want to stand that way, but like also, I also would like to also lean towards studies, and that what you have is enough to get you started, just to start, but it's not enough to sufficiently help you build whatever you want to build. So it is, and starting is the most critical part. That's why you find out that most people who, in the old days, probably before now, you have a lot of people who are artisans and they're able to build their house because they started becoming financially disciplined. They were disciplined. I think that's the major factor. Because even if you earn 200,000 naira or even 500,000 naira, owning a house could also be a mirage for some of those people. Enough to earn is also about you becoming financially disciplined and you taking it as a project. Because most people don't take it as a project. That's why even if they earn 40,000 naira, out of that particular sum, you can take out a particular sum. Then because you are doing it, because what every goal always motivates us when we achieve certain milestones. So you have done some numbers of blocks. I'm excited with that goal. And so when I begin to think of creative ways to make money legally, do you understand? So now I can lean towards this target aspect because of the fact that I have started something. But I want to have all of it at the same time to be able to build. I want to start earning 100,000 naira to be able to build. My dream may not be far-fetched from being achieved because of, so it is better to always start. So this is what I have. Now, for me, somebody will say, because of the fact that what you are looking for is your dream house is what is. How will I put it now? Maybe it is so much a bill for you. But you start with what you can handle, what your finances can handle. But you just gradually get there, and you're looking for small. I know some people who started. Who moved into the house that they've not even completed some parts of the house. So it is when they move into the house that they're able to complete the house. I know there are a couple of people like that. So it is just that I'm disciplined enough, and I'm looking at what I aim to be able to get started. So those are just...
Now, does it make sense if I have a plot of land? In some places, the standard plot of land is 500 square meters. In some places, 600. In some places, it's even more than that. Is it okay for me to just think out of the box, for me to sell half of my land so that I can use what I get to start on the other half of the land? Does it make sense as an architect? You want to speak more? Can I achieve anything with half plot?
I will definitely even advise anybody to do such. Because in my own opinion, for a plot of land, let's say the regular 60 by 120 that everybody will talk about, you can conveniently do 4 units of a 2-bedroom bungalow on it. So now imagine you selling half of it. So meaning you can still do 2 units of 2-bedroom bungalow on what you still have left. Meaning you can, for the fact that you can do those 2 units of 2-bedroom, you can also still do 3-bedroom bungalow, you can also still do 4-bedroom bungalow. So it now depends on maybe you want to still build and build the other later just so that you can rent and earn some other rental income for yourself, or you don't actually want to share with anybody and you just want to build your own thing. Okay. So you can always...
The problem people have with that, I've discussed with a couple of people, they want the space.
The space.
But the fund is not there. But, and you, we discussed something, I think in one of the episodes, where we were talking about housing and the market. Now, for a lot of developed economy, what they've been able to do is not just about the facade that you have within the housing. It is about my income. What am I currently earning at the moment? If I can put a roof over my head, like I think there's a statistics that James sent to us, I think during the week. I think it should be open to the public when they visit our social media page, where if I own a house, I have my network is almost times 46 times more than
your worth.
My worth is time for this % higher than the person who is paying rent. So it's so for me majorly it's just about people just need to just calm down and just
don't rush things.
Don't it's not even about because people want to build their dream house with the income with the little income that they earn. It's not usually possible that way.
Is it Tade, as an international property investor, is it even possible for you to achieve your dream house with the first house that you are building?
No, not necessarily. It depends on who you are. You know, everything is relative. If you have already made it, if you have money, and you know,
Ahmad,
you don't even need you just buy the house.
You just buy the house. You can buy your dream house. Because see, in the bid of trying to build a dream house without having a sufficient fund, you can create a nightmare for yourself. Because nightmare in the sense that you
the dreams come out.
You know, you create a nightmare, because nightmare in the sense that you begin to complain, you begin to say this and that. The first thing is this: I want to move from where I am to stop. Let me give you a practical example. My brother decided to move away from where he lives and rent an apartment and rather build his own house. And he started the house gradually, and you know, it works in a place, and he's still working till now. And then he built that house partly, and then somewhere in Agbara axis, and then after a while he finished the house, and then he moved into the house. Now when he moved into the house, the environment where he built the house is totally highly developed, you know, based on that level of that axis. And then you know what happened? He bought the land that is beside him. And he gradually started doing that one too, in self-contained, about 7 self-contained. Wow. The last time I paid him a visit, he has almost finished it. He still had the same money. But you know, because like what Chudi said, he now developed that mentality. He is trying to do one little business here and there, you know, gather the money, because he now has a plan of what he want to do. Now that means that you may not start with a dream house. Now you must start somewhere. And starting somewhere means that you have a plan. I want to live where my rented apartment. I want to move here so that I can save more money. This is what I say to people. The moment you have a house and you move out of the house, and it's not your dream house, still assume that you are paying a rent. So every time your rent is due, still put it aside as a rent, you know, that you're supposed to pay. You know what that's going to do for you? It's going to help you ultimately to have a dream house, because that is what you're now going to use again to build another house. And you know what? The hardest house to build is the first one. The moment you have come to that state, and you know, you just believe that, man, I can do this thing again and again. So your first house is not necessarily your dream house.
I needed us to discuss that, because I see it as a myth for a lot of people. They want to own the first house as their dream house. But you see, for some of us who have houses, we know that when we move to that house, we just realize this is not my dream house. There's a better house that I want to achieve. James, I'm also going to throw it at you. I realize that the cost of materials is also differ depending on location. So let me give a typical illustration. The cost of material on the mainland is different from the cost of material on the island in Lagos State. And so you have a higher advantage if you have a land on the mainland for you to quickly build your house than if you have a land on the island for you to quickly build your house if we are looking within the context.
Even the cost of labor is different.
It's different.
But we can do labor migration, we can do material migration, we can do, you see, it all depends on how you have your necessity and what your necessity is. You see, one of the things we are talking about today, which we want people to get, is you can build a house within your income. That means that there is a statement in that thing. That means the technicality of that word is necessity.
Yes.
That means if something, you know, we live in a world where a lot of people are interested in having something, but they are not committed in having it. So people have this dream. They go to church at the beginning of every year, and the pastor declares to them, which is a very good prayer, that this year is your year. That this year you will live in your own houses. You see, having said that, why we have not created this show or this segment of the show is to say that having heard this prophecy is an out to the achievement of your prophecy. How do you build a house? It must become a necessity for you, no more something you are interested in. So have you bought a land? That is the first point. If you have not bought a land, then you need to get a land. Now in getting a land, you must look at the kind of area you can afford to live. There are places you cannot live, just like the way I am. There are places I cannot live. It can be interesting, but I cannot just stay there. Do you get? So I must know the kind of place I want to stay. What is the range of building a house in that kind of place? You begin to plan towards those things. I know there are creative ways. There are, like what the architect have said, there are creative ways. There are things you can start doing. Just start it.
You know, just like what he just said now. So it's not just, it's also within my range. So it's not just about the labor or even the cost of materials, because in the first instance, I choose to buy a plot of land on the island. That means I know the cost will be higher compared to what you have on the outside or compared to have another area. So it's just, and it's also my commitment to be able to build that house, maybe with from whatever I earn and all that. So I should be able to identify, okay, what is the cost of land in this area? How much am I currently earning? And I do, because I know people who earn 180,000 naira every month, and they want to buy a plot of land. They want to buy on the island. How will you build the house? Do you understand? How you are only just trying? You are only
just gathering yourself. It's
probably maybe a deception of the highest order. And you know, it is. I need to be able to look at what I currently earn at this.
Deception of the highest order.
It is a deception of the highest order. So I need to look at what do I. So what do I earn now? You know, as related to what I want to build.
Okay, we don't want you to be a member of deception of the highest order. So we quickly go on this break. When we come back, we will take you further with practical steps on how you can own a house within your income. We'll be right back. So, welcome back. Now, we want to be very practical. I'm going to face James. James, I have 1 million. Can I build a house with 1 million?
Definitely.
Really?
You can.
For real?
Yeah.
So what will 1 million build for me?
You need to understand one thing. And one thing you need to understand is that building a house is actually an art and science.
Oh.
So you need to understand things about procurement and logistics. You need to understand.
What does that mean in an everyday
language? Because I was going to ask that, James, I'm not interested in procurement. I'm not interested in, I'm speaking like as a guy that spoke why we went on break. I have 1 million. I want to build a house. What can 1 million give me? I'm not interested in procurement.
1 million will conveniently build you a 1-bedroom bungalow.
A 1-bedroom bungalow. And I can easily move my family in.
Yeah.
Do I need to put in factor?
What are the disclaimers? What are the caveats on that? What are the caveats on that?
1-bedroom bungalow.
But excuse me, what are the caveats on that? You say 1 million. Can 1 million build me a house in Lekki? Phase 1? Because I was going to ask that. One bedroom, please. I want to know.
Most likely, your land where you're going to be building it will be a dry land.
Okay, it has to be a dry land.
So your choice of foundation will most likely be the regular strip foundation.
What was the regular foundation? Raft?
Not raft.
Okay, what's the regular foundation?
Strip foundation.
Strip foundation. Okay. Okay, so it has to be a dry land for me to be able to achieve 1 million house. Now,
for one bedroom,
from
right?
one bedroom,
From
just one bedroom bungalow.
Yes.
Okay, so I have 2 million. What can 2 million do for me?
No, are you location? You are not mentioning.
No.
We said a dry land.
Dry land.
So you can own
we know
your
that there's no
house.
dry land on the island.
Okay.
There's no dry land on the
You can
island.
own
So
your
you are,
For it to be dry, it has to be low.
it has to be low land. It's not high.
There's nothing dry now.
It has to be island. Sorry, it has to be low land. Sorry,
Mainland.
Okay, the mainland.
it has to be mainland. Okay, so the major thing that I need to be sure of is that I need to be sure that it is a dry land for me to be able to achieve a 1-bedroom bungalow with 1 million naira.
Yes.
So James, if I give you 1 million now, how soon will my 1-bedroom bungalow be ready?
It is achievable within a month or less.
Really?
Okay, you're talking about 2 million.
2 million.
What happens to 2
James,
million?
I give you 2 million. What can I have with 2 million?
You can build a 2-bedroom with 2 million, 2-bedroom bungalow.
And this
With 2 million.
is this thing you're talking about? Is it 1 million 1 bedroom? 2 million 2 bedroom?
bedroom.
That means if I can surprise very well, 3 million will give me 3 bedroom, 4 million will give me 4 bedroom,
bedroom,
5 million will give me 5 bedroom. Am I
Is that
correct?
what you are saying? So automatically, wait, James. No, because
Oh my
But
God.
like I said, lots of things will have to play in. Like
Lot
your
of
choice
things.
of materials,
Okay.
they will play in. Because for instance, you can't tell me you want a stone tile roof.
You're finishing.
You're finishing, everything will need
but
to.
basic. It's not.
It's going to be basic.
So it's
'cause-
just a basic house.
Yeah, basic house.
Okay. So if I don't have 1 million, I have 500,000.
What can I do?
What can I do?
It's a jam question.
Do I need to projectize, or do I need to drop the 5 million to
It
do
will
to a point?
build you an uncompleted house.
Uncompleted house.
What do you mean by uncompleted? I mean, am I
At
going to
what
get
point?
to little?
Yes.
Am I going to
At
get
what
to the
point?
roof? And
Maybe not up to roof.
Because
Okay. Roof is actually-
But sorry, the question I want to ask is this. We're looking at 1 million as an idea, as a case study for 1 bedroom. And that is fine. Because there is this guy that is my friend, Wuche, on the street. There is Inamdi, there is Bayo, right there on the street, listening to us right now. And he's saying, okay, I want to start saving because it's like a
I don't have the bulk
Chudi
money.
and Tadi has been on this show and they have told me that if I'm a minimum wage, I'm not sure if I have a hope. But the truth is he has a hope. Now the question is, he has a hope. Now he just want to start saving his money. And then he has heard about he can build 1 bedroom with 1 million. Now in a dry land, you know, you must read that. Now
You must
this guy
emphasize that.
earns 80 million. He wanted to start
18 million.
he earns 80,000. Sorry.
80,000.
Oh my God.
18 million.
I like it big,
Yes.
brother. Okay. so the guy earned 80,000 and he wants to start saving now. But the guy knows that if he's trying to, discipline himself in the next 2 months, he has a land already. Right place. He knows that if he discipline himself in the next 2 months, 3 months, he can put out about 150K. He's going to sacrifice a lot of stuff. And this guy needs to start this 1 million naira project. What can he do with this 1 million naira so that he can commence? Because
With
to say
150,
to say
save
that
1
this guy
million
will have 1 million,
At
we're just living a food paradise. So what can this guy start with 150,000? And people progress in that space to say that, okay, I'm going to this 1 million naira project, but how can I move so that I can achieve something? Because we want
practical.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Well, with 150,000 naira, you would most likely complete your foundation
Okay. Dry land.
on a dry land
land.
with that.
with that.
Yeah.
And then you take it in phases. So every other 3 months, I can bring another 150,000.
But at least a 200, 180,000 would do.
We do. Okay,
But
so
at least.
with every other 150,000,
With
in the
every
next
under
1 year,
150,000, you can always put up your block wall. With maybe another 200,000, you can always have your roof over your building. Then you now start going into some.
But I think we must
doors,
add
the
there. We
windows,
must
and
add
some
there.
other
It's not
things.
just about you doing it yourself. Because sometimes you can also, because if you say, okay, because you are hearing him talk about it and you just want to just embark on it because you may find out that there are certain indices that may not just work that way.
Okay, it's so painful that we cannot digest or we cannot break down all of these things. So what we'll do is you can follow us on our social media handles. We can take it further. You can also call the lines so that we can also answer some of the questions that you want to ask the house. I'd like to take our final take. Chudi.
Like I said, it boils down to discipline. If I'm committed, if I have a project in mind, I should be able to discipline myself. Like what we just analyzed now, it may be difficult for me to raise ₦1 million at once, but with a lot of discipline and planning, it makes the job easier for me.
Okay, Tade.
Yeah, I want to say this. I'm going to chip in this very quickly to say that, like what people have heard today, is achievable. It can be done, and I know that as they even follow us on our social media and do and all of that, more details and more plans of how they can achieve this thing can be done. But this is nothing is impossible. Everything is achievable if you really, really want it badly. That's it.
James.
You need to just be able to define what you want and know your opportunity cost and all that. I would say a 3-bedroom bungalow or a 3-bedroom flat in Surulere, whatever it is you are paying as rent, can actually just build you a 1-bedroom bungalow somewhere in Lagos suburb and the rest.
Wow. Okay, so you've heard it from the gang members. This is where we are going to be cutting down today. We'll be right back on your screen on Saturday by 10 a.m. On R2TV. You can view us and you can also follow us on GoTV channel 112. There will be a repeat broadcast of this show tomorrow by 10 on Monday by 10 p.m. This is where we are going to leave it today. So you know what you have to do for you to own your house. Until next week, thank you.